Привет из Дубая! С вами передача «Голубь мира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about erudition and let's start with the definition.
We have a lot of different words in languages, in Russian, in English, in other languages, how to describe a very clever person. But a lot of people do not know etymology and they mixed this terms. For example, if a person know a lot of, we could say educated person. If the person could make some great conclusion, we will say intelligent. If the person will know like a set of facts and has an encyclopedic memory and read a lot of books, we will say erudited person. Erudite, this means several things. First, this person is not rude because he has have been cleaning his behavior and he always use the right word. There is a saying in English, in British, something like this: the proper gentleman will call a cat in when he step on it in the dark room by name of the cat, but nothing else. There are a lot of different things which very useful to be erudite. You became like a dictionary, you became like magician, you became like a Google for everyone. For example, my wife always says to me, "Can you please explain to her or maybe to her friends?" She never use Google, and if I do not know something, I will go deeply and I will read everything. Each day now I read for 2 books and I try to remember this, and this means that you could have quite wide perspective in all subjects, but you could not be limited by some spheres. For example, if you just read about programming or about projects or about operation excellence, you will not be erudited person. So to be erudited, you should know everything about everything. For example, right now we start to write our recordings in English. After 10 years, we'll make it in Chinese. Then we'll make it in Hindu. So to make this video looking better, we will start to learn names of the birds, of the trees, of the grasses, of the fruits, of the veggies. At some point, we will name these subjects very specifically.
And when we already know like what exactly the erudition, and you mentioned that there are a lot of skills or maybe like not really mechanics, but some knowledges that you need to possess. So what might be the things that actually could help you to accumulate, accelerate, and process what you have and turn it into the pure erudition?
Maxim, to be honest, I don't know how. This is the reason why I started School of Troubleshooters. If I knew how to do this, I will make it like a short course with, I don't know, several speeches, and then I will recruit all the attendants to my team, and I will make a huge money. But I don't know how to do this. When we will think about some people, we will remember the word of polymath. Polymath means that person know a lot, could do a lot, and is very useful for surroundings. And it is my dream to become an erudite, because erudite is just one part of the polymath. First part is to know how to do. Second is capable to do, and third to be master of this doing.
And when we do, like look at the erudition, obviously it might be like having different levels, but like whether it's applicable to user levels, and instead of that, it's more like a user different, I would say, angles or, like a different compartments that it has in order to assess whether someone is erudited and how deep his knowledge or like his use of the knowledge goes.
Starting from the Industrial Revolution number 2, we start to divide our knowledges and our skills, and we start to be very focused. For example, if you are a weaver, it's ткач. It's okay to say weaver?
Weaver, yes.
If you are a weaver, you know how to make materials, you know how to paint, but you couldn't make boots or how to make fishing rope. If I am, for example, bricklayer, it's okay to say that builder who put bricks into the wall, bricklayer, it's okay?
Or maybe construction worker.
Construction worker. So I could know about concrete and about these bricks, but I couldn't know something about, I don't know, some pipes, some electric, and maybe some other equipment. But if you are an erudite, you will try to extend your knowledge and to extend your skills. And we speak in School of Troubleshooters, something like this. There are a lot of people which are I people. I people, they know just something single. It could be, for example, T-shaped people. For example, this person know something in he or she business, and also he or she has a lot of networking. But better type of people, it's a comp people. Comp, it's this tool which I could make my hair laying in which direction I want to put them. So this is the same with erudite. If you could answer to any colleague to what they ask, for example, how to write document, how to make a model, how to speak with customer, how to deal with lawyers, how to work with state. In this case, you became an erudite.
Well, then there might be a little question which probably related to more like a maneers or maybe even theory of games, but I often notice that you probably would not gonna give an answer unless you've been asked for it. So sometimes I do believe there might be a lot of things that, you know, you may be aware of, like how it works, what it's connected to, so literally like entire layer of knowledge, but whether it's necessary demonstrated when you're not being asked, or maybe when the request is small, but you just want, you know, that you can give more than being requested.
You know, if you will show to everyone that you have a knowledge, as in this case, you show that it is an easy peasy for you. For example, I have a friend of mine, and he has a very luxury car. And suddenly he came to our dentistry, and this car couldn't start the engine. And I was listening and I was looking for this guy, and I just closed the door and I was just stepping back for 10 steps. And I got a call and he asked me, maybe you could help me to run an engine. And yes, I came and I rebooted the system. It is well electric vehicle, and everything was running. But if I will help in advance, I will have no points of my account. So it's like nothing for me. The same, for example, if you will pay for every day for somebody for a cup of coffee or for a sandwich, this person would used to it, and if you will make it, it became more hard and hard for you, but you now like make a untold promise, so it's on you. So when you give an advice, consider it's like a money. Do not buy a sandwich until you was asked.
Well, this is quite interesting approach, so that, you know, like, you know how to leverage your knowledge. Now, when it comes to the information consumption, well, it's, as you rightfully say, it's might be sometimes hard, like, to know what exactly you may need at a certain point of time, but how to prioritize the knowledge. Because, for example, let's say we have a list of things that we want to read, but maybe, you know, like circumstances might be changing, or we might be introduced to a different opportunity on a new project. So how do we go about prioritization of consuming and then using the information?
It's very simple. For example, if you are at the work or in the family or among your friends, you just should ask you one simple question. How many people know this information? For example, if you start to learn French, but two of your colleagues or someone in your family could speak French, it is not worth to do it. But if, for example, you will learn Japanese and you know no one on the work, in the family and in surroundings who speak Japanese, you will be just a unique person. For example, I have two nephews, and I ask them. One is trying to learn Japanese, and another Chinese. And for example, when we are going to Chinese restaurants, usually I make a call and I am asking if you have an original or native speaking Chinese. And if it is cook or, for example, an owner, I will say, I have a nephew and he is learning Chinese. If it is possible, please, I even could pay, but if you could step and we could talk for a while, it would be great. The same with Japanese restaurants. But now I know all of 5 best Japanese and Chinese chefs in Moscow because my nephews know languages. Yes, I could also speak, but same with English, because you know me for long and you do not angry for mistakes. The same would be in restaurants. And you know, In this case, you would be able to book a restaurant at any time because you have special relations.
Well, I do believe sometimes erudition could be the rock that kills many birds. I might be like forgiven for that one, but like, yeah, you might be, like not only practicing on the spot whenever it's possible, but you also might be using it to demonstrate your knowledge and maybe use it for building the network. And now when it comes to, okay, I probably do know the answer to this question, but I'll try to maybe like ask it in a slightly different way. So all of us might be relying to Google or whatever, or like some of the device, or like hoping that, like at certain point of time, there might be something or someone that could come help. Like for example, now I'm using the phone to record this video, so I might be losing sense of time. So I'm trying to think like what might be I use in the surroundings to actually, like get the idea of like when it's a good time. But how we should go about, like having a backups, or having, like a source of, like knowledge that we could use and make a decision, whether it's something that we keep in our heads or maybe something that we could fetch from somewhere which is relatively nearby.
You should rely on yourself. It's the same with fight, with the same with knowledge. You should build in your memory something like a castle or multidimensional space, and you should put everything in this space. If you will make it carefully, you will build something like a structure, and if you will forget something, the structure will help you how to remember.
And my last question will be how knowing about the erudition could help to make this world a better place.
Our society demands that everyone will do just one job per time, and we have so many difficulties. For example, we could not fix TV set, we couldn't fix I don't know, fridge or maybe vacuum cleaner, we couldn't prepare some kind of foods, and in this case we ask someone to help, and we pay and maybe an extra money for emergency or for some other reasons. But if you would be the person who know a lot of different things, you will be well paid.
А мы рассмотрели навык эрудиция и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!